welcome back to my channel, the Shaa'Vaee Show. Thank you again for tuning in with me today. So, as you can see, I'm coming back with a review of Greenleaf Season 4, Episode 4, titled A Common Enemy. Now, we got a lot to unpack this episode. It's way too much tea that needs to be spilled. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so the first person I'm going to talk about during this review is your girl, Gigi. Okay, so this episode kicks off with Grace back home from Phoenix in this new apartment, which appears to be the one she co-signed for her son, AJ. So, for those of you who saw last episode and saw my review, you know that the episode ended with Gigi on the phone with AJ, basically telling him that she wants him to move to Memphis, where she and the rest of the family are. But the gag is that no one in the family even knows that AJ exists, let alone do they know that he has an apartment that is near them or in Memphis. So, while AJ is moving into his apartment, and in this scene he's pretty much cooking, and Grace is unpacking, and she's showing him, you know, these little decorations that she has for the house or the apartment, and he's just like, first of all, that's not my style. What you got is not my style. What you bought is not my style. Secondly, it's like, okay, what is the point of us decorating this house and making it look all nice and fancy when I don't have no company coming over, and then at the same time, nobody even knows I exist. So who's gonna come over and look at all this stuff? And Grace is like, me. Like, just very casual, like me, like, yeah, I'm gonna be the one coming over here all the time. Don't worry, son. It's okay if you're gonna be by yourself all day, every day. You have no friends and no one knows you exist. I'm going to have time to come visit you when I am not working at Harmony and Hope or Calvary. So, Grace, you tried it. And let me tell you, I love Grace, but sometimes she really be looking after self. And in this situation, girl, you really trying to hold on to the secret so hard that you are making your son just feel like doo-doo, okay? Feel like he is really the abandoned child that no one wanted. That's really how you're making him feel. Okay, so anyway, so at this point, like I said, Gigi is pretty much okay with AJ living in that apartment by himself and no one knowing that he exists. Okay, so I guess Grace is like, shoot, you asked for an apartment that is cool, quiet, and safe, and there you have it, AJ. There you have it. So anyway, I guess during this whole moving AJ to Memphis thing, Grace didn't really completely think about it, because at the end of the day, it's like, okay, AJ has an apartment, but homeboy don't got no job. So it looks like AJ's gonna be in the house just sipping on the devil's nectar all day, every day, while Grace is out preaching about the good book. So we're gonna see how that plays out. So now, still speaking on Grace and her little tribe, Sophia comes home from college without informing Grace or anyone of her arrival. Sis tells Gigi that she is specifically in town to meet her brother, and that's it, okay? So at this point, it seems like both of Grace's kids are either living in the shadows and or trying to be invisible to everyone else. Interesting, right? So anyway, Sophia kicks it with AJ in his apartment, and he gives little Sophia some of that gin and juice. Y'all know Sophia don't drink. So while they're drinking, they have a heart-to-heart about several things, including AJ's experience as a foster child, as well as their feelings on Grace, who AJ still at this point doesn't acknowledge as his mom. Which I get, because it's like, Grace, thank you for buying me an apartment and, you know, trying to help me get on my feet after I've been in prison for 5 years. But at the same time, it's like, where were you at for the 18 years that I've been on this earth? He's probably thinking Grace has an agenda, and I'm thinking that he has an agenda. But I don't know. Who am I? So we're going to see what happens with that. Anywho, so Sophia assures AJ that she is nothing like Grace, although AJ believes otherwise. And long story short, Sophia gets a little too drunk. She falls asleep on AJ's bed. So AJ has a big brother moment, and he throws like a little cover over Sophia while she is sleeping, which I thought was kind of cute. I didn't know what was going to happen at that point because I don't really know AJ. So I'm like, like he gonna take pictures? Like, I don't know. I didn't know what to expect from AJ, so I didn't know what was going to happen. So fast forward to the next day. Sophia is still super pissed with Grace because of the whole AJ thing. But now she's even more mad because Gigi got her out here lying to her family about why she's home, where she's been at, yada, 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 yada. And y'all know Sophia is not a liar, and she does not like to play these kind of games with people. So Sophia is just so mad at her mother's decisions that I actually think that this will drive her more away from believing in God and Christianity as a whole. And I say this because I think that in her eyes, she's beginning to see that everything her mother, Grace, told her not to be, Grace is or is becoming. So as of now, Sophia and Grace's relationship is on a rocky road, which is very surprising because for the most part in this show, they have been pretty steady. Of course, they've had arguments in the past, but Sophia has never been this rebellious in any of the seasons of Greenleaf. So I'm interested to see how this plays out. So we still gonna keep rolling with Gigi because your girl Gigi had a lot of tea this episode. So now we're gonna talk about her, Phil, and Bob. Okay? So what makes me mad about Phil is the fact that he really thinks he runs Calvary and H&H. Like, he really thinks he has some type of power. And for me, as the season keeps, rolling, I'm just starting to see Phil as more so like a bench warmer, like an errand boy, so to speak. I don't really see him as anyone powerful. And I'm starting to see that he just does whatever Bob tells him to do, such as writing Bob's sermons. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of like presidents and political figures, when it comes to writing speeches and stuff like that, they do get some sort of assistance. Now, keyword is assistance. So that means that they work on their speech, whatever they're going to do as well. However, I feel like in this situation, Bob is not writing anything. I feel like it's just Phil and Bob is just reviewing it. And if he doesn't like it, Phil has to do it over. So in this case, I guess Phil is working on Bob's 4th of July speech, or 4th of July sermon, excuse me. And Bob just saying he just don't like it. And it seems like this is maybe Phil's second or third time writing it. So Bob's like, listen, I need you to go back to the drawing board because what you wrote just does not sound like me. So Phil, being the yes massa person that he is, he's like, you know what? Okay, I'll take another stab at it. Y'all, Bob gonna pat Phil on the back and say, that's a boy. Excuse me? In 2019? You know what? I'm not even gonna get into that. Anyhow, if Phil want to be treated like that, that's Phil, because he a demon anyway. Anyway, my other question, or my initial question to Phil is, Phil, why are you trying so hard to get Gigi out? So I feel like, he thinks that if Gigi is no longer in the picture, that Bob is going to promote him as associate pastor, or just a pastor in general, and I just really feel like it's not gonna happen. But Phil really has it in his heart that this, it's to come to pass. So, Phil is just desperate, super desperate to get Gigi out, and he goes to Charity, he's begging her. He's like, Charity, please, I need something on Grace. So Charity's like, okay, like what's going on? Why you need it so bad? He's like, I don't know, but I just need something. So we're going to talk about that heifer Charity later. But let's just keep moving along. So Bob asks Gigi to speak to Cal, who is the head pastor. His name is Cal, who is the head pastor of Fairview Church, which is near Calvary and also under the Harmony and Hope umbrella, or Bob wants it to be under Harmony and Hope umbrella. Anywho, not to mention that Fairview is also a predominantly white church. But anyway, Bob wants Gigi to convince Cal to combine his congregation with Calvary's. So I guess according to Bob, Fairview's service attendance is decreasing in numbers and the property eats money like a goat, as Bob has described it. However, Cal, as we know once Cal and Gigi meet, he is not like Bob, Phil, or any of the other stuck-up money-hungry people at H&H. In fact, Cal seems very shy and is obviously being pushed around by Bob in order to feed into Bob's agenda to make money. So put it this way. When Gigi and Cal meet, Cal understands, because Gigi basically tells him, listen, I don't know about this whole mixing and merging type of thing, So Cal pretty much understands that us black folk, we need our own space to worship. And Cal is happy with what he already has going on at his church, and he doesn't want to merge with Calvary just as much as we don't want to merge with him. No offense, no offense. But we can root from each other in our own homes. And you know what? That's why I respect Cal. I like him. Cal, I like you. You invited to the barbecue. Next summer, because it ain't barbecue season no more. Anyhow, so Gigi and Cal's meeting must have shook something up in Gigi's spirit, because, honey, come Sunday, Gigi had a whole sermon that would get the congregation on their feet while Bob and Phil are clenching their jaw. So, this Sunday sermon was supposed to be about unity and inclusiveness. So y'all know Bob likes to dictate what Gigi is going to say, what her sermon needs to be about, how long it's going to be, etc., etc. So I guess this was Gigi's way, or I guess this was Phil's way to prepare the congregation of the mixture that was about to stir up. And by the mixture, I mean Cal's church, Fairview, coming to harmony, and Hope and Calvary, and mixing and mingling as Bob thought it was going to be. However, things take a turn. So now, before I get further into Gigi and her sermon, since we're talking about Sunday service, let's briefly talk about that bland and unseasoned Harmony and Hope opening song. Y'all, Charity and Judy were out here battling on the pulpit like Monica and Brandy on The Boy Is Mine. Y'all, Judy was all country and pop mode, and Charity was giving us R&B and contemporary gospel vibes. I was like, you know what? This is a hot mess. And the congregation knew it was a hot mess, and so did Charity. But Judy was trying to act like, everybody's all united. She keeps trying to hug Charity and bring her in, and Charity's like, no, I want to rip, but you're not letting me rip. Anyhow, so y'all, Grace's sermon was the complete opposite of what Bob expected, okay? She did speak on unifying, but it wasn't in comparison to the way Bob wanted her to deliver the word to the people. Gigi said, not up in my house. I'm not going to be sitting here playing you with your games. So, Gigi preached the house down, okay? She preached the house down. She talked about Moses and mean old Pharaoh and the people of God uniting against a common enemy. And she talked about mean old pharaohs of the world who are pushing God's people around, and why it's important that we stand together and unite when the enemy comes along and tries to force us into doing things we don't want to do. If y'all making the connection, y'all know what I'm talking about with this whole Cal and Calvary kind of situation. You hear me? So y'all know Lady Mae and Bishop was ready to run laps around the church the way Gigi was preaching that word and putting Bob in his place. And then you had Cal on the side like, yes, Lord, yes, Gigi, yes, Lord. He didn't know who to think at that moment. So, a long story short, after that sermon, Cal made a decision that he does not want to merge with Calvary, and that his church is staying put whether Bob likes it or not, decreasing the numbers or not. I do not care. Cal said, I am not playing these games with you. My church is staying. So, Bob is fed, and he's like, I need to see you in my office, Gigi. No, matter of fact, not even my office. I need to see you in your office. I need to see whatever office he wanted to see her in. Best believe Gigi had to click her little heels to wherever Bob needed her to go. So, Bob basically tells Gigi, listen, okay, honey, don't forget, I run this. You are just an employee, okay? And you need to stay in your place, because the next time you're not in your place, you don't do as I say, you, your brother, and your sister, yeah, Okay? And it's all gonna be your fault, Gigi. So y'all know Gigi just like, what else is new? Something's always my fault. So Gigi just got a lot of tea this episode. So next episode, I already know it's going to be spilling, okay? So let's kick it off by talking about Bishop and Lady Mae, okay? Let's just get right into Bishop and Lady Mae. So Bishop was invited to speak at a Friends church in Atlanta, and he really, really wants to go. But Mae is like, how you want to go preach somewhere when we're too busy trying to fix this mess of a church we used to have? So Bishop is like, listen, it's only one Sunday, Mae. And what do you expect me to do? Like, I'm clearly not doing anything. I still want to do something. So I'm going to continue God's work, but I'm going to do it in the shadows until, things blow over. And besides, we ain't having sex anyway. I said, oh, Bishop, I said, how you really feel? Is this what this really about, huh? So Lady Mae is just like, Bishop, Bishop, excuse me? So then Gigi walks in interrupting at the perfect moment because clearly, Lady Mae was not ready to talk about this whole, intercourse situation with Bishop. So, because y'all know she's still mad at him. So, anyway, Grace interrupts this whole convo at the right moment. And she basically tells her parents about Bob's plans to merge Fairview and Calvary. So y'all know that Bishop is like, you know what? I already know that Bob is a con artist, so I'm not even working myself up over the situation. We just gotta hurry up and get him out of there. So Lady Mae is pissed. She's like, excuse me? Excuse me? You gonna try to do that to a black church? You gonna try to mix and mingle? Are you, excuse me? So, she is livid. So Lady Mae is like, you know what? I'm gonna take matters into my own hands because Gigi, I don't know if you're gonna deliver and put him in his place. So let me do the honors. So Lady Mae gets in contact with Corinne, who is basically running Bob's schedule for the day, right? So Lady Mae fills or pencils herself into his calendar, his agenda for the day, and sets up a lunch or a meeting kind of setting with Bob after finding out his game plan, right? So as soon as they sit down, Mae is like, listen, let's just skip the small talk because we clearly ain't friends. And she just enlightens Bob about the importance of allowing black churches to remain predominantly black, So now y'all know Bob is on his diversity high, or at least what he thinks diversity is. And he's just like, no, Mae, I completely agree. I do believe that we should have our separate churches, but I do think we need to come together. However, I will say that Cal and Gigi are going to have this conversation. So we're going to let those two decide what happens. So Mae is like, that sounds like a good plan, but I don't know what you got up your sleeve because this don't sound like Bob. So anyway, I just feel like based off of this episode alone, I'm just starting to feel like Bob really thinks that, like, he knows Gigi is smart and he knows that she knows how to preach and he knows that she knows her word. However, I feel like he thinks that she's just soft and easy to win over and that he can kind of treat her the way he treats Cal and Phil. But honey, Bob, you don't know the Greenleafs, okay? Just because you have Gigi kind of in your pocket or because Gigi works at Harmony and Hope, don't forget she has an army behind her, which is the Bishop and Lady Mae. That's the only army she really pretty much needs. Don't forget that anything that happens, she's reporting back to them. So they're helping her with coming up with these suggestions or plans on not completely how to get you out, but how to move forward with all the shenanigans that you're trying to get Grace to do. Excuse me. So anyway, let's just keep moving along, all right? So, it's just so much tea in this episode. It's too much tea. Y'all, Carissa, she gonna give me a heart attack. I'm telling y'all right now, between her and Charity, I'm gonna have a heart attack. So let's talk about your girl, Carissa. So y'all, this girl done convinced Jacob to sell a land. Oh yeah, after Bishop then gave Jacob a speech and advice about what he should do to help his marriage and why the land is just land. It's not about that. It's about how your wife feels. Oh, Jacob was not feeling it. I guess that wasn't sitting well on Jacob's heart because Jacob did the complete opposite. So y'all, long story short, Carissa got Jacob all excited. So Jacob was just as excited as Carissa to sell the land. only for us, meaning the viewers, to find out the commercial buyer that they are selling the land to, or that they sold the land to, is no one other than, go ahead, y'all guess. Go ahead, guess. Yes, you guessed it right. Harmony and freaking Hope. When I found that out, I just want to just punch Carissa right in her head. I want to punch her so bad because, girl, I am so heated. I am so heated. I can't believe she did that. So let me tell you how we found this out, right? So the buyer has on these cufflinks or whatever the case is, and Carissa's just looking, you know, she's so happy, so she just noticing stuff, you know. She's like, oh, where'd you get your cufflinks from? They're really nice, or whatever the case is. So I guess he tells her. I don't remember exactly word from word what he tells her, but basically the cufflinks must be that nice because she is just in awe, right? Okay, so boom. So now Phil, fast forward, asks Carissa to meet with him to talk about the school that she works at, or whatever the case is. And then she sees Phil's cufflinks. And guess what, y'all? So she's on her, ooh, like Drake, ooh, those are nice cufflinks. So she's like, where'd you get that cufflinks from, you know? So come to find out, y'all, basically these cufflinks are like some type of H&H custom design kind of thing. So now Carissa, when she found out, she's like, her face changes, you know, she get all of her feelings. I'm like, yes, stupid. So now Carissa's sitting there looking all stupid, like, did you say Harmony and Hope? Did you say Harmony and Hope? Yes, Carissa. Yes, Carissa. See, Jacob was out here listening to God. God was telling Jacob, don't you sell that land. But you want to be Eve in this situation. And he just sitting there, oh, I'm going to make my wife happy. Whatever makes her happy, I'm going to make her happy. Now he go ahead and he agree with what you want to do. And now look at the situation. Now look where y'all at. Carissa, you know what? You just made me mad. I'm not even here for you right now. So basically, Carissa knows now that the buyer represents Harmony and Hope. Does something with Harmony and Hope, and sis still gonna sign the papers. Still have Jacob sign the papers, and she ain't tell nobody nothing. Nothing. So now I'm just waiting to see what happens because this ain't gonna sit well with the Greenleafs. This is not gonna sit well with the Greenleafs, and this gonna put Jacob in a bad position. Whoo! I cannot wait until next episode. So, last but certainly not least, y'all know who I have not talked about, right? This whole review, and that's your girl Charity. Whew! Because I'm fed up with her, y'all. I am so fed up with her. You know, let's just talk. Let's get right into it. So basically, as I mentioned before, Phil is desperate to get some juice on Gigi because he's trying to get her out, right? So he thinks that he gonna have a shot at preaching. Him and Charity thinks she gonna have a shot at preaching too, and teaching the word of God with that deceiving, conniving heart of his. I don't know how he think it's gonna work, but it ain't gonna work, brother. So anyway, Charity is still fishing for details regarding Grace. And now, like, T just to find out what Grace has been up to. So now she's taunting poor Corinne, who is not spilling the tea. Corinne is like, no, I will not do this. If you want to find things out, you ask her yourself. I said, you know what, Corinne, that's right. Stand up for yourself, Corinne. Stand up for yourself. So dumb behind Charity takes matters into her own hand. Now, this idea wasn't that dumb, I'll tell you that. But it's dumb because she did it, and she shouldn't have done it. You know, and she's doing it for the wrong reasons. So, as we know, Charity knows about Noah's visit to Grace, right? But she didn't know why. And it seemed like she wasn't going to find out why, because ain't nobody trying to tell her nothing. Because clearly, really nobody knows why he came to visit. So desperate it is, as desperate gets, here comes Charity. She comes up with an idea. So y'all, Charity calls Noah's house phone. And she leaves a message like, hey Noah, so I heard you around these parts, I heard you around Calvary. How you gonna come by and not come see your sis? How you not gonna come see me? So y'all know Isabel was not having it. Long story short, Isabel found out. So now Isabel knows that Noah made a visit to Calvary. So she already thinking, oh, you must have been up there sniffing up under Grace. So you know what? You got to get out. So Isabel kicks Noah out of the house. Now, I don't know if it's divorce. I don't know if divorce is being spoken about at this point. But all I know is that Noah calls Gigi to let her know what her devil of a sister has done to his family. So now he's planning to move back to Memphis to meet his son and to spend some time with him. T. I was looking for my cup. My cup is up here. T. Oh my God. I cannot wait to see what happens next episode, because this is just getting too hot for me. I can't take it no more. So that's pretty much what happened in episode 4. So again, as y'all know, I will be back next week to talk more Greenleaf with y'all. I can't wait to see what happens, because I saw in the preview that AJ might turn up. Like, listen, I don't want to be invisible no more. Next time somebody asks me who I am, I'm telling y'all. So, child, things is about to get messy. So, if you haven't already done so, be sure to give me a thumbs up, comment, and of course, subscribe to my channel so that you can stay up to date with all the reviews that I do. So if you are a Greenleaf fan and you like my Greenleaf reviews, be sure to subscribe so you can stay connected and converse with me on what is happening in this season of Greenleaf. So, once again, thank y'all for rocking with your girl. I can't wait to talk to y'all next week. So, I'll see y'all then. Bye, y'all. Don't forget to subscribe.